to the tea to butter method of determining your paint consistency. Getting the consistency right is half the battle with gouache. The tea to butter method was first introduced by Joseph Zbukvic in his book, Mastering Atmosphere and Mood in Watercolor. Now there are 5 consistencies that we're gonna mix with gouache, and we're gonna use paint straight from the tube right here. I'm gonna use burnt umber. And then I'm gonna label the consistencies in the sketchbook. We're gonna have tea, coffee, milk, heavy cream, and butter. So we're gonna take one of my number 6.5 flat brushes and wet the brush. And we're gonna get these consistencies by adding water slowly to the paint straight from the tube. So I'm gonna just take a little bit of the paint and put it over here. And then add 1 more drop of water. And so you see it's pretty much the consistency of tea. Maybe 1 more drop. Okay, there we go. And then we're gonna swatch it here. And you can see it's light. And now I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna add a little bit more medium to it. And it's thickening up. So that is our coffee medium. And then we're gonna add even more medium to this. And by medium, I'm talking about the paint. So this is like the consistency of milk. And you can see it's even darker. It's getting more opaque the thicker the medium is. I'm gonna clean all that off. And then I'm gonna go here back to our paint straight from the tube. I'm just gonna add a touch of water to it to get to this heavy cream consistency. Okay. And that is the nice flat consistency we like to paint with for gouache to get most of our flat opaque color. So you won't see what's behind it coming through. But it's not so thick that you get a bunch of texture you don't want. Painting with gouache is all about learning precise control with it and handling the paint that way. I'm gonna swatch the heavy cream again right here because you wanna do it a couple times so you understand. Now it's getting dry, but so you understand and the feel, you get the feel for it in your brush. And then finally, butter is usually just straight from the tube. So I'm gonna do some straight from the tube here. I'm gonna take this paintbrush that I don't dip in water first now. And then I'm just gonna. So it's really opaque, but it's thick. And that's why you're getting that dry brush effect. And that's what we use butter consistency for most of the time, doing like a dry brush, a light dry brush on top for shading or blending. Oh yeah, she's thick. So I would practice. So I'd recommend practicing with this tea to butter consistency for a whole page. We're just doing the tea. Just to get a good feel and handle for these paint consistencies on your brush. The more you do it, the more you're gonna get comfortable with it. Got that coffee consistency. See how there's more pigment in the coffee consistency? I mean, it literally looks like coffee in this color. I love that. And then for the milk one, we're gonna go a little thicker. And then to get that heavy cream, I'm gonna need a little bit more pigment again. So I'm gonna add more paint to my palette. Add it into this well that had heavy cream last time. I'll press my paintbrush down to check the consistency of the paint too, because sometimes there's not enough paint in there. Okay, the heavy cream. Oh, yes, opaque AF. So you're gonna wanna use the tea and coffee consistencies when you wanna do a wash or something with a more watercolor effect with gouache. And that's why it's so great and versatile. You can use it like a watercolor, or you can use it like an acrylic paint or an oil paint in terms of being able to go opaque or transparent. But most of the time when I'm painting with gouache, I want it to be opaque. And so I'm using heavy cream as the ideal consistency for a painting where I'm painting more with an opaque paint from back to front, etc. Butter. Okay, so I'd recommend that you do a whole page of exercises just like this to practice your consistency swatches.